Today we're going to be talking about some of the basics behind budgeting. But before we begin, if you could go ahead and hit that subscribe button below, then it'd be much appreciated. Thank you. Alright, let's go to work. Building a budget can be a psychological war, but what we have to do is learn to focus on the benefits rather than seeing it as a tedious task. Secondly, what we have to do is learn to be in control of our dollars, vice letting our dollars control us. Ultimately, what this means is that we have to learn to become disciplined. Most of us want more money for the freedom that tags along with the surplus of money. But in order to have freedom, we must have discipline. And lastly, we have to consider our net worth as a whole, the big picture. Now, we'll discuss net worth in another video, but basically, it's our assets minus our liabilities. Or, in other words, what you've got minus what you owe. Now here's a tip. The fastest way to earn more money is to keep what you've already earned. Cut the unnecessary expenses and downsize the essentials. For example, if your electricity bill is typically $200 a month and you can cut it down to $125 a month, then congratulations, or you've earned an extra $75 a month. Now, downsizing can be a little bit prideful, but it's worth it in the end. We have to sacrifice a little bit of pride if we want to gain exponential growth. Now, how exactly do we build a budget? That's what we came here to talk about today. In order to build a budget, all we have to do is categorize our bills. What we'll be reviewing are the different categories that your bill should be placed into. Now, you may want to grab a pen and paper for the rest of this video. Okay, the first thing we want to do before we start our budget is add all of our income streams. And when I say add all of your income streams, I'm talking about after-tax dollars. Why account for the before-tax dollars anyways? We never see it hit our bank accounts. Uncle Sam puts it in a chokehold every time, right? So what this includes is money you may receive from your job, business, rental properties, any grants you might receive, or any other outside support, right? And in the end, all of these different income streams should be zeroized. When we say zeroize, we mean every dollar should have a name. We have to account for every dollar. So, we're going to give overall categories in each slide, and this presentation is structured so that it walks us through our most important bill category first, and it works us through the least important as we progress through the video. Now, each overall category is going to have a subcategory, and we could think of these subcategories as containers for each dollar. The first category we're going to discuss are the living essentials. These are the bills that are reoccurring monthly with regularity, such as rent, food, gotta be fed, and etc. Now, for some of these, such as groceries or the utilities, they may not be the same amount every month, or you may not know how much it's costing you in groceries every month, but what you have to do is come up with a number that you would like to spend, and then we try our best to stick to that number. The next overall category are the fees owed. The fees that are necessities, to be exact. Just like the previous category, it has its own subcategories, which includes items such as student loans, car note, etc. Now we will be having some further videos on student loans, how to prevent incurring them in the first place. Credit card debt, we have a couple videos on that, how to build your credit score. And we'll also have some videos on insurance as well. Medical insurance is not the only insurance out there, obviously. And we'll be talking about, are you overinsured, underinsured, and what exactly are you paying for within these different insurances as well. The next category is living essentials. Now I know we discussed living essentials before, but these living essentials are not reoccurring every month necessarily. These are expenses that we know are going to happen sometime within the future. For example, let's look at transportation. When we're talking about transportation here, we're talking about car maintenance. Now, our car may not need to be serviced every single month, but we know sometime throughout the year, your car is at least going to need an oil change, right? So why should we pull from our emergency fund for an oil change or for new brakes? That's not an emergency. We knew that it was going to happen sometime throughout this year. So what we do is we just take a certain amount of money and we set it to the side every month. So when it does happen, we already have a fund for it. The next overall category is fees owed. And I know we've already talked about fees owed, but these fees are more so focused on fees that are associated with leisure expenses. So we're talking about premium subscriptions such as Netflix, memberships, and maybe even you have an investment that you're paying for. And we're actually going to be talking about investments in some of our future videos, so make sure you stay tuned for that. The next overall category is potential expenses, the leisure. We're talking a travel fund, eating out, home decorations, going to the movies, getting jewelry, etc. The fun stuff, right? Now for some of these, we can take, okay, how much am I willing to spend within a month on this specific category, like eating out? We say, okay, I don't want to spend more than $60 a month eating out. We hit that threshold and then we stop eating out. For some of the other categories, like a travel fund, let's say we want to travel once a year. And when we travel that one time a year, we don't want to spend more than $2,400 on that vacation trip. So we take $2,400 and we divide that by 12, and that will give us $200 a month that we set aside, so that way when vacation time rolls around, we've already got money allocated towards vacation and we're not dipping into our rent money to cover vacation. In closing, whatever we didn't spend would essentially be saved. So if we did all the numbers and we ended up having a surplus of $200 a month and you say, oh, that's not right, I want to save more than that, well, you have to cut some of the other expenses in order to save more. That's how a budget works. Either way, whatever number you come up with, stick to the budget, and remember, those that have discipline have freedom in return. Again, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to our channel, Free Game University, the one-stop shop, valuable information, 100% free. Thanks for watching.